Hey, this is Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network, your source for health, knowledge, and freedom, coming to you today on Sunday. It looks like we are live on Facebook, so I will get started with this as people jump on, and then you can watch this, share this, send it out. It's been a couple days since I posted about what a possible political scenario we could enter into, and as soon as I posted this, some people got a little aggravated, upset, the fact that I thought this could happen. So I wanted to lay it out to you on what could possibly happen. Now, before I dive in, let me give a little disclaimer. So I don't want this to occur. I don't even necessarily think this is going to occur, or what the plan is. But I do want to put it out there in the fact that it could happen, and we all need to kind of keep our guard up a little bit, considering this has we've dealt with some very corrupt politicians for a long period of time. So I want people to know this could happen. Now, I am personally a more conservative, very libertarian individual. I support our current president. Now, when I say I support our current president, it's because if I look back, I did not want Hillary or any other Democrat in office, because I believe they're part of the globalists, the New World Order, that are trying to take away America's rights, destroy the Constitution, and kind of go that route. So, obviously, our president has good things and bad things going for him, what he does, what he says, etc. And so many people think that they're going to get the perfect person in office, the perfect congressmen, congresswomen, the perfect senators. That's just never going to happen. So if you think whatever the side of the aisle is that you're going to be on, that everyone is going to agree completely or with who's in charge, it's just not going to happen. However, I am very pro-America, meaning strong economy, strong support for Americans, take care of America first. Every country take care of themselves first, and then we can be a global economy without a one world government, because that's really the way they're going. So I want to tell you that this is not to say this is going to happen, nor do I support what's going to happen, what I'm going to tell you. But we have to keep our minds open, and we have to be strong, and we have to start at grassroots level so that this doesn't happen. So let me go into the scenario that I thought of the other day that could be very problematic. So keep in mind, Hillary is doing a lot of interviews right now. Now, she says she's not running for president, but yet a couple different times she's stated that basically, don't tempt me, whatever that means. Now, the Clinton Foundation statistically is crashing. I don't know if you know that or not, but from a business standpoint, from a finance revenue standpoint, their organization is not doing well. Yet she has been doing, I believe, the Jimmy Kimmel show. She just did the Howard Stern radio show on Sirius XM. So she's out there pushing her propaganda still. Now, that tells me, and you can go to a lot of different sources on this, whether it's mainstream news, InfoWars, doesn't matter where you go. They've talked about her jumping in the race. Because right now, I'll tell you, we have, on the Democratic side, you have Joe Biden, who you've seen the videos he's put out and what he says, or he's not even able to say because he's either got dementia or he's just falling apart. You have Elizabeth Warren, who nobody trusts. She doesn't know how she's going to pay for anything. Bernie Sanders, I think his time has come and gone. And then you have Tulsi potentially, but her percentage is still very low. So I'm not convinced any one of them is going to be the runner, nor if they get on stage with Trump, do I think they have any chance whatsoever at beating him. So right now, Trump wins the election. No doubt about it, right? Landslide, probably like you've never seen before. However, we have a problem. He's getting impeached. So what does that mean? First, I want to tell you what impeachment means, because I think most of Americans, now many of you who are watching this or viewing this, you're in the know, you know how this works. We've only had a couple presidents technically impeached. Clinton was the last. Now, impeachment does not mean you're thrown out of office. That is not what the word impeachment means. Impeachment is an indictment. Now, the thing you just saw go through the Congress where they were asking questions, they were talking to people in academic, they were talking to different people who about the whole transcript. That was not impeachment hearings. That was simply Schiff's hearings to decide if they should go for impeachment. So after that, there was no evidence. Anybody who wants to say that there was evidence after that whole scenario, there was nothing. There was no impeachable crime. There was no impeachable anything. So they're still going forward with it because that's what they're doing. That's the Democrats. Impeachment means indictment. So most likely next week or the week after, they're going to run impeachment hearings or run impeachment. And I will guarantee you, just be prepared for this, they are going to impeach President Trump. Congress is Democratic leaning. Pelosi's running the show. She has her Democrats. They're going to impeach President Trump. Just so you know, be ready for it. He will be indicted according to their rules. Now, this is where it gets fishy, and this is where I actually get concerned. Once he's impeached, indicted, it goes to the Senate. Now, the Senate makes the final ruling, okay? Meaning now there's a trial. Now, both sides get to bring in who they want to bring in. So obviously the president, his side is going to could bring in anybody. You could bring in Pelosi, you could bring in Schiff, you could bring in any of the whistleblowers. You can bring anybody in, which is a good thing because obviously then we get our side out there and you can find out that nothing was done. Now, it should end right there because the Senate is dominated by Republicans. And I don't remember the number off the top of my head. I think it's 53 to 47, somewhere in that area. There's, I believe, 2 independents, Bernie Sanders and one other, but they're good. They would vote Democrat. So you have the numbers for Republicans to end this whole thing. He stays in office. Everything is fine. However, if for some reason the Senate got enough people to vote for it, the Senate would kick the president out of office. Now, you're saying we have it in the bag. The Republicans won't flip. Now, this is where my concern comes in. And I do not think this is happening, of course. I'm going to say it again. This is my disclaimer. I don't think this is what's going on, but I don't trust the globalist deep state. I don't trust the Congress people. I don't even trust the Senate at this point. I don't trust a lot of people in the federal government. So my question is, was President Trump working the whole time with the globalists and potentially with Hillary Clinton? So this all comes together with, and I want to bring up a point that some of this actually comes from my wrestling background. So as many of you know, I'm a big fan of professional wrestling because I actually like the storytelling. And I like the characters, etc. Because I know how it works, obviously, and it's a choreographed sport, and you know who the winners are, things like that. However, President Trump is good personal friends with Vince McMahon and Linda McMahon, essentially the owners and chairpeople of World Wrestling Entertainment. Now, this is where it gets a little crazy, and trust me, I've had people call me conspiracy theorist on this whole thing in the last couple days. But this is just me thinking, being devil's advocate about what could happen. Now, President Trump was in with the Clintons, was in with certain Democrats, etc., etc., etc. Hillary is going on the interview trail, right? What if the Senate flips? What if there's shady business going on behind the scenes? Because we know there's some Republicans that can't stand the president. And what if they're paid off behind the scenes and they flip? And what if the Senate, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, blows the American people away, and they flip, and they vote him out in the trial? Because keep in mind, you think people like Mitt Romney can't stand the president, and he's a Republican. Now, in professional wrestling, bear with me a second while I explain this. You have a good guy and a bad guy, right? They call them faces and heels. Face is good, heel is bad. They have good guys and bad guys. Now, when you have two characters who are wrestling, but they're both very strong characters, what you need to do in the show, because that's all this is anyway, it's a show. If the heel wins, the bad guy wins, you don't want the good guy to look bad. He still has to look strong, because when he goes into his next storyline, you want the fans behind him. Even though the bad guy, you still want the fans against him. Okay, so the president currently, right, he has a very large brand, the Trump brand, right? So America is behind the president, right? Predominantly. I mean, keep in mind, America is a traditional conservative country based on founding documents, the Articles of Confederation, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution of the United States, right? So everyone right now is going behind this whole story that the president's untouchable, the Senate's going to push it right through, and impeachment dies off, and he wins 2020. But what if? What if, and I say this what if not because I want to create the controversy and create this conspiracy, but we have to think, these are elitists, right? They're trying to stay a step ahead of us. They're trying to destroy the Constitution of the United States. They're trying to take over America to keep this whole globalist system going. What if the Senate convicts and throws him out of office, and then all of a sudden Biden falls, Warren falls, Bernie falls, Tulsi won't be in the running, and next thing you know, he's out, and Hillary stepped in, and then she walks her way into the presidency of the United States in 2020. Now you're thinking, that's crazy. How could that happen? Oh, it could very easily happen, actually. And now you say, well, Trump doesn't want to look bad. And keep in mind, our president does have an ego. I mean, you won't find a successful person in the world that doesn't have a little ego. I'm not talking about ego as in they're a jerk to people. They're confident. The president's confident. If you're in business and you're successful, you better be confident. For example, I run a business with my wife. We're both very confident people because you have to be. That's how you get things done. That's how you lead people, right? So you say, well, the president doesn't want to be hurt. The Trump brand would get hurt. No, it wouldn't. This is where the wrestling thing comes in. She walks into office, potentially, and the American people are now pissed off because their guy, who still looks very strong, the president of the United States, got booted out of office. It's the heel face thing in wrestling. She's a heel, and they hate her, and now she's in office. We love to hate something, right? That's how it works. And then he is still loved. The Trump brand still is worth billions and billions of dollars. And then potentially, the globalists and the elite create a civil war in 2020. Now again, I am not trying to bring this and create this into existence. That is not what I'm doing at all. Is actually what I'm doing is I try to think steps ahead. I want to know what's happening. And everyone thinks, and I hope this happens, that it goes exactly the way we want to, which is the Congress is going to impeach him. They go to trial. The Senate throws it out. He walks into 2020, and we have the next 4 years. We're a booming economy. We somehow make it so the economy doesn't crash, the stock market doesn't crash, because obviously we're still printing fake money. We want the Federal Reserve gone, right? We want Treasury printing money again. So I haven't done a video on that in a long time, but keep in mind still that America, the United States of America, the corporation, is the Federal Reserve. The United States of America, for us, is where the Treasury prints real U.S. dollars. Right now, it's a Federal Reserve note. It's not a dollar. They got rid of the dollar a long time ago. This is why we're pumping billions of dollars into the economy every single month, right? That's why Trump has been banging on the Federal Reserve. We need the Federal Reserve out. I'm a Ron Paul supporter. If you know anything about Ron Paul, it was audit the Fed, end the Fed, etc., right? So I want to bring this out because I want people to realize it. So earlier today, I actually just promoted some congresswoman, right? And Lauren, and her name is, let me check her name. Hold on, I got to remember her name because I just met her today. So Lauren Boebert, right? She's running in Colorado. So I am fully behind this grassroots movement to overturn Congress, to put Republicans back in place. And for all of my libertarian people out there, I'm not a Republican guy necessarily. I'm Republican. I vote that way, but I'm a libertarian mind. But I will tell you, the Republican Party right now, for as crummy and corrupt as they've been as well, I'm not fans of them. I just know that they're better than the Democrats right now because you have Pelosi in charge and all these other just scumbag Democrats, liberal Democrats. Now, I just want to bring this all up because you need to know what's happening and you need to know what could occur. Right now, we have such a low literacy rate in America that honestly, probably most people under 40 years old right now, maybe even 30, don't know a lot about how this country was founded on. They don't understand the founding documents. They've never read them. They've never looked them over. And so right now they think the impeachment hearings we just had were impeachment. No, that was some made up thing the Democrats made, which doesn't ever happen, where you make hearings over if they want to go for impeachment or not. So you have a lot of young people who are being educated in a very dangerous, liberal, public and college school system. And so they are getting this programming every day that the president's bad, the Republicans are bad, conservatism, traditional American values. Now, that doesn't mean we shouldn't progress in economy and be progressive in ideas and inventions and innovated, but we're still traditional American people who stand for God, stand for country, freedom, the American flag, which is right there above me, right? That is still the greatest flag on the face of the planet because America is strong, not because of our money. We're strong because of our people. I just told my wife the other day, immigrants are so vital to our system. Not illegal immigrants, but immigrants. I see patients all the time and in my office. And I have people come through who are from every single cultural background you can imagine. And they came in the right way. And they're good people. And they work hard. They work harder than a lot of our younger Americans who've been educated in this liberal system. And so I want to get this out there so we can educate people, so we can start these grassroots systems, all these new congressmen and congresswomen who are getting ready to run to knock out these lifelong people who have done nothing for our country but spend money, get rich off of our country. But I want to point out that we're not out of the woods yet, right? We need to keep this trend going. The economy is booming. Now, obviously, some of our economy is for things that are not good. I don't love medicine being doled out to everybody. I don't love big oil being doled out and plastic ruining things. But keep in mind, we still have the greatest country and have the best economy. We can slowly transition our economy from these not good things to these good things. I mean, keep in mind, the food system is a mess. I preach on that all day long, every single day. But we do not want to throw the economy out just because we have bad products right now, because we have a lot of people that are dependent upon those jobs. So what we can really do, keep the economy skyrocketing and then transition slowly over to good products, good services that are good for our country, good for our planet, good for other countries, and have people from other countries immigrating in the right way who are helping us make an even better country. And then if we take care of ourselves, our families, ourselves personally, and our country, all countries succeed without globalism, which is a world government looking over it. So I wanted to bring up that scenario not because, again, I'm not promoting it, nor do I want it. I just thought about it, and I don't trust these global elitists, deep states. And as much as I love what the president is currently doing with a lot of things, I still have a trust factor that I'm not fully wrapped around. I'm very skeptical of the people who are in government right now, no matter if it's at the low end or at the high end. And I want you to be aware of it because really, at the end of the day, that's the problem. Now you need a solution. What is the solution? The solution is you have to know about this. Now you know the problem. Now we have to support those people in our local towns, our local communities, our local cities who know exactly what's going on. They think like you. They want to rebuild families and country and cities for America, and we need to push those people into office if they so choose to run. So, follow my page, follow other people's page who think like this, talk like this, and get behind those candidates. There's a group out there called the Social Justice Democrats, and it's still going on, but that's who pushed the Ilhan Omar. That's who pushed AOC. That's who pushed Tlaib, and there's many other ones that they pushed, that they took people who didn't know what they were doing. They put them into office just like that because they weren't running against anybody strong. And the next thing you know, you have people sitting in Congress who are honestly very anti-American. And they want something else for our country that is not our founding documents, right? Our founding fathers were not perfect people. Yes, they had slaves. They did things that maybe they shouldn't have done. But overall, they were great men and women because they knew how a country would work. They knew you had to have borders to have a nation, to have a country. And I will let you know, they are still the most genius people. Keep in mind, they have documents that have survived this long that are still in place because they built those documents and they built this country on God and natural law. That's why they've survived. Not because a bunch of guys put it together. No, those were very faithful, spiritual men who also understood what they were a part of and how to make things better, and they were very smart. And they built something on God and natural law. In life, if you are working via God, natural law, and your ethics are in, you will succeed. And that's what America was founded on. So we have had an amazing 4 years. Everything is cruising along very well. We now have a system that is trying to push a president out over wrongful things. He didn't do wrong things. They're doing wrong things. And I want to make sure you're aware of every single scenario so that we can now create the solution, which is keep our eye on the ball, but also support these congressmen, congresswomen who are jumping in to take out these basically older politicians who have been raping America for years on end. So I hope that helps. I hope that kind of gives you an idea how this might work, because at the end of the day, a lot of this is a show, and it keeps America, occupied and entertained. But at the end of the day, we must get America back. These founding documents must stay in place, and we need to stop globalism. We need to stop this new world order, one world government, because honestly, at the end of the day, the Soroses of the world, they're trying to dictate how the whole planet operates, and that is wrong, right? Every country should be a sovereign country on this planet, America included, and then we all lead together to make a better planet, to make a better world. I hope that helps. Again, final disclaimer, I don't want what I just said to happen. I just want you to be aware of it, okay? I am still behind this whole thing. I want our president to be great, and I want any president to be great. I don't care if another Democrat comes in. When Obama was here, trust me, I didn't like his policies, but I wanted him to make America better. That's what I wanted, right? So sane people will support sane, good ideas. That's how it works. So share this, please. We'll put it up on YouTube as well. Get it out there. I want people to know about it. And then do me a favor. Please, please, please put your prayers, your postulates, your ideas on the positive, on what we want for and as Americans to be what America should be. That's what we want. And then support your people that are local who are running for office, right? Pro First Amendment, pro Second Amendment, pro Constitution, pro Bill of Rights, pro Declaration of Independence, pro family, pro God, pro Creator, pro America. That's what will make this work. Okay. Well, I hope that helps. Again, put some comments in the feed. We'll put this up. If you have any questions, I'm happy to reply to those in there. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Make America great again. I don't want to keep using that cliche, but like that is what we actually should be doing. Now let's keep America this way. We're on a great path. Things are good. We need to keep them good. Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network, your source for health, knowledge, and freedom. I hope this helped you. Have an amazing one. Go spend time with your family and make everything better. Be well.